What characters are you like? Oh, this is scrim code, yeah. What characters are you focusing right now predominantly?
Predominantly Hazard and Orisa.
All right, cool. Is this a Orisa or a Hazard map?
This one is an Orisa map.
All right. So yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll split the session into half. So we'll do Orisa, and then we'll also cover the Hazard 2 in the second half as well, because there's some
All
pretty
right.
important micro there. Wait, we'll get into it, and we'll see how it pans out. Turn that off. Turn off too. Okay. See what the game starts.
Hold on, I'm gonna replace that actually second code because I just remembered that is not the code that I was thinking of.
Oh, okay, cool. No worries.
All right.
Cool, cool, cool. So I guess like before I get into it, I want to know a little bit because you're on a team as well. I guess I want to know a little bit of context around what the rest of your team play, as well as again what you think your job is on Orisa.
So I think my job generally here is just to survive and live long enough to where I can set up my or at least wait for my Sojourn to get a pick, or if Genji can see something potentially low, then I can hope in and help engage on top of that. Generally, this is what we all like to play. This is our ideal like comp, or depending on uh, the map. I will play Hazard, and then we'll switch the Baptiste for like a Kiriko.
Right,
Uh,
right. Yeah, I think the main difference between Orisa and Ram is that your cycles are way more surgical with how precise you can be with who you want to go on, and also like later fight when your fortify is out, you're of course a lot more squishy too. So the main things I'll be looking for is when you're going for your cycles, who you're going on, javelin micro and CD micro that will come into that too, how much damage you're taking in the pre-fight, and then whether you can live in the post-fight too. We'll see how this pans out.
because
But yeah.
I think my like how I want to say potentially I think playing Orisa in the past like month, my uh taking damage in the mid has gotten better, but overall my cycling is still
Mm.
fucking terrible. I will
Right,
say that.
right. We'll also get into some macro too, because of course you're playing in a team, and it's important that. But honestly, most of the teams I've seen or been on, the tank on the main support is probably the one making the fight plan. In teams, is again, it can be a collective effort, but that's going to be important to know as well, because you can direct your team in terms of what your plan is for the next fight based on ultimates. So we'll keep an eye on that
Right.
too. But yeah, okay. Your BAP Curie difference, small thing, you're just playing for like a generally, I guess, like a longer prolonged fight, and you're generally playing from more distance, so nothing that crazy. Okay. Draw. Draw. Okay. I hate this map because it is a very long neutral.
Yeah.
So just fighting. Draw. Fine. Fine. So yeah, all we're doing right now is just waiting for a trigger to go on. So again, it could be your Genji wins map control, and you see a potential like again it's currently it's a stalemate right now. Your Genji wins his map, and then he's able to go for a dash cycle, and then you can combine that with your spin. So far nothing crazy is really going on. I'd just be a little bit more attentive of what's potentially going on here, because of course any damage you can get onto this tracer, or hell even a javelin potentially, can help your Genji win the side space. But barring that, nothing that crazy so far.
Right. I do have.
Go on, go on,
Oh,
go
okay,
on.
no,
Go on, go on.
keep going. Okay, I was gonna say I have a question because I know there's generally right the two sides that you can take, either this side or more the open space that help your DPS. When is the correct like way to know when to like take that? Is that just off of your like ult cycle in what you can potentially see, or uh is there like
Right,
just a certain trigger to that?
yeah, no, it's a good question, right? The main trigger will be that the tracer, in this case, the tracer's position and your Genji's position, right? So if tracer goes out on open space for some reason, like, I don't know, he just blinks, like, here for some reason, then you can turn and shoot her away. Whereas right now, if you're just, like, spamming at your Genji out of your LOS, there's not really much you can do about this. Like, of course, you're not going to commit spin to go across this open space, the Orisa can just walk forward as a result, and you can get pincered really easily. So, like, of course, you're never going to, like, actually spin over here. But it's just paying attention to the actual Genji and tracer itself, and how the duel is going, because that can again affect what you're shooting at. Of course, if one of us is shooting the side flank here and the other one isn't, the one shooting the side flank has a slight advantage there. But honestly, for the main part, your Soj and your Genji and your Lucio will be the ones thinking about the side flank a lot more. Like again, if your Genji starts losing it, which right now he currently is, he's probably going to back off and play into your Soj into the west, and then the Railgun can scare with the Tracer. But yeah, from your end, there's not too much else you can really do by borrowing, by paying in a little bit of attention, making a call perhaps, and spamming some shots towards Tracer's way if she overextends. But yeah. Okay, we'll see here. Yeah, your Genji dies, unfortunately. So there's two options here, right? You either look for a trade, or you play really slowly and get your Genji back, so you don't get staggered out and you just give up a ton of space. We'll see what you do here. I think that the answer here should be fairly obvious into what you do, but we'll see what you do.
I know I wanted to
Okay, yeah,
potentially look for a trade. Yeah.
Right, so like your soldier's walking back and gets a kill into their Tracer, right? But of course here, can you get a trade onto anyone right now?
Onto right here, can I? No, they're a bit way too far for me to try to int in. If I go in,
exactly.
I'm just gonna get shot and ran over.
Exactly, you are way too far away to get a trade, so like just back up and just like play really slowly. Of course, you don't. Your soldier gets a one shot, so that's nice to play around. And then of course you just get more space back, but yeah, something I would be at least thinking about, or at least potentially even calling as well. Yeah, go on. Because I think we were gonna say something. Like you are.
No, I think it was just breathing. Oh wait, no, something. I feel like I also mistimed my fucking cooldowns here because like I just here's at the point where you can just go because just see what happens.
Right. So okay.
Walk this a bit harder.
Okay, and then you just get spit by Orisa into a wall, right? So of course you're skirmishing to look for an engagement, which is important to do, right? But like it's the where you go. So if I go third person here, or like where you move to rather, right? Like, and this is really important. This is like a links in some of the again hiding, pathing, sneaking around stuff that is important in Korea right now with dive stuff. Of course, you're trying to sneak onto the enemy soldier, right? You can do that by going through here or going this space. You know that Trace is dead, so you're not going to take any damage here. You can hide, almost hide here and path around and be 10 times safer and try and threaten that soldier.
Okay. No, now I know what you're saying about like when I can take that side. You know, we are up one. I don't have to worry about getting out angled through that right side,
Exactly,
and now I can potentially out angle their Orisa.
Exactly. It's just good pathing. Because obviously, if you're here, you can't get shot by Surgeon. And by Lucio and Kiri and etc. Right? So like that's just the pathing thing. It's about where you want to move to and sneaking around to try and reach the Sojourn without either the Sojourn knowing that you're there, or without you taking a ton of damage in the pre-fight. And right now, of course, you're just taking a ton of damage in the pre-fight. It's the exact same thing as Hazard, really. Like if you're playing Hazard here, I say the exact same thing to you. For most tanks that want to again try and reach backline, I'd be saying the exact same thing. On Winston, I'd be saying the exact same thing. Like sneaking around here is really, really important to avoid the Orisa. Not just to avoid the Orisa, right, but avoid their entire team and avoid damage, so you're actually able to stage and get a good cycle onto this person, or even this person. That's just a pathing issue, really.
Yep.
Okay. We'll see here as well. There's one more thing that applies to both Orisa and Hazard, which is like making sure you're not getting baited to go for a cycle onto them, because what Sojourn wants to do is play a position such that she wants you to spin onto her, because if she's playing really far away or playing enough distance away from you, she can side away and she'll be fine. So try not to get baited into spinning onto Sojourns or hit scans that are too far away. But we'll see if that becomes an issue later on. Okay. Sure. Fine. So right now, of course, like you're hard like front to backing Orisa, which is fine. Like you have it in a higher, like a bigger advantage you can push it. Who and where might you want to go, and what might you want to call?
Right here, I think we can probably just try to I want to say then I can try to pressure out. I'm going to call that, hey, I want to try to pressure out this Kiriko, and whenever she attempts to TP out, then we can maybe potentially take a bit more space here.
Right.
Arisa's already used what? She already used gold, right, and spin spear to try and get out.
Just a little gold.
Right. So we have a little bit of an advantage with that cooldown. So maybe we can just try to look to pressure it a little bit harder here.
Right. So like, just basically that's pretty much bang on, right? Like slowly keep the pressure up and slowly push your advantage into the enemy team. What I don't want to see is you spin straight into this angle here, not clearing the Kiri first, and you get blown up and you get your 4-5 first out first. So again, I often say this a lot of the time too. If you're playing like these higher damage comps, like again, Arisa's part of that too, and you're struggling to reach the back line, i.e. the Sojourn here, just force out the front line. Just shoot the front line. And you've already forced out Orisa here. Kiriko is now part of the front line because of what she's playing. So force her out too, and you could even force out Tracer 2 here as well. And what that will do is that this person will TP to their Soj, this person will fuck off and go back to their Soj as well. They'll lose a ton of space, and then you can go for your actual cycle. So we'll see what you do here, because I am curious to see how you push your advantage here. Okay. Torchy backs up, fine. No gold. Chilling. Okay. Spin, fine. Okay. 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 The only thing I'd say here is after she uses spin and gold, how can you pressure, or what should you be, alright, how do I say this? What are your options here after she uses gold and spin, like right now?
So after this, I can, I think I actually end up going right, potentially trying to kind of split their back off and make them back even further, and we can potentially split their Orisa a little bit.
Sure, yeah. That can maybe work. So it's not exactly what I was thinking, right? But you can maybe go here and then spin Orisa in. That could maybe work. You're on the right lines, right? By applying pressure to Orisa. What's something that's very simple that you could do right now that could apply a ton of pressure to Orisa and force her to back up really, really far? Maybe even get the kill.
I just want to say then pressure, or like, did I just like when what I said? Did I say just run on her, or
yeah, right?
Because okay, yeah. Okay,
basically just walk onto her, right? So you can spin her into your team. They go for the cycle, like you spin her in literally into your entire team here. You hard pressure Orisa, and the reason why you do this is because you can't go for backline. Like you can't reach them at all, right?
They are too far.
They're too far away. So hard pressure this person, which you can do. And also, you can even use Fortify aggressively, right? Now, I wouldn't suggest... I mean, you could Fortify first and then hard pressure Orisa. It's actually something that sometimes Orisa players will do. I've seen in past Orisa metas, where Orisa will often use gold first to hard pressure. It's often done when they've got Terra Surge, because then they get gold again. But you can just, again, hard pressure Orisa with spin, gold afterwards, and put as much pressure as you can on this character. The fact that, again, you're not doing this, if I go to this person's POV, right? Nothing. No cooldown to it at all, right? This needs to be hard punished. And the fact that it's not is slightly worrying. And at this level of play too, it's like these things are like really important to spot. Because this is how you blow up Orisas. This is how you win fights outright. Is this.
My one thing is, I've always feared that, like, I noticed that I felt like I was one of the less aggressive Orisas, and I never really knew how to, like, try and, I guess, turn my style into where I can keep, I guess, applying pressure. So
right. Now I wouldn't.
It's just
Yeah, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, I guess it was just about like really the cooldowns and learning when to pressure. I noticed, I do like the thing that I'm really scared about is my health. I have armor. I shouldn't really be afraid because my supports can see me from right there.
Right. And also
so it's just, I guess, the trust.
That's true, right? Just the trust between you and your supports. And your backline too, right? Like, of course, if you're gonna make this play, what do you need to call?
I guess I'm just gonna walk Orisa, walk Camry and walk Orisa hard.
Yeah, walk Orisa
just
hard.
Something
that's fine.
simple like that.
Right, just an imperative plus an action. So, like, again, I mean, imperative is an action. Walking on Orisa is more than fine, right? Or hard pressure Orisa is one as well. And then just like you can even shout Orisa. That's fine. Like, I need some sort of direction or call that tells your entire team, hey, let's fuck this person up because they've wasted both their cooldowns and they're gonna get away with it, which should never really happen. Like, if this is like high level play, this person dies immediately. Like, you spin onto this person and they'll get blown up in 2 seconds. This person will slide in, or maybe not slide in, right? But they'll drop down, headshot the Orisa, and she'll blow up immediately. So don't worry about your CD like too much for now. I say don't worry about it, right? But the point being here is that you have such an insane advantage that you're not pushing. And that you shouldn't be that scared to push because of that insane. You've got both your CDs here, and you've got armor, and you're chilling, and you've got cover, and you've got blamb. You should be okay. So yeah. And in fact, this javelin here it helps the Orisa. It pushes her back. You're creating distance between you and the Orisa. So you actually help this person because now it's going to be harder for you to actually push this person, right? If you spam onto this Orisa, pushed her in your team, and javelined her either into this wall into this wall or into your team, that's the freest kill of your career. And you can even fortify to obviously stay here and be the blockade between you and the Orisa. Between being here, her team's here, yeah, she's here. You block off the Orisa, that can definitely work. But it's that javelin there, it's that mindset that the javelin shows me everything that I need to know, because it shows me you're not thinking about pushing your advantage or at all really. It's just you're just casually walking forward here. But this person is very killable, more than you think. But yeah. And in fact, the fact that you're losing HP here is insane. Like, I can't stress this enough. Like, the fact that she's just, like, used both the CDs, gonna get the backup in time, and didn't get punished for it, and you're getting punished for it, is insane. And that window of time is now being flipped back onto you. Because now you're gonna get 4 or 5 forced out, she's probably gonna push onto you, and you might die for this. We'll see. Now, yeah, your Genji gets forced out, now you're the only one on the front line. The window's over. That's a big pick, but that's an insane pick of Surge. Javelin's okay, cover's fine. Sure, I like the fortify. Fine. Sure. Often, again, I'm not gonna go with micro or harp on micro with your overheat mechanic. But if I think in practice range, from what I try, it's like it's like really botched practice range thing, right? I think it takes 2 seconds for it to go from going to overheat to 0. Whereas if you just naturally let it decay, I think it's 1.5 seconds. So I think it decays faster if you just don't let it overheat. I'm not fully sure on that, but I'm pretty sure. But yeah. Still force the Orisa fine. And you back and get a little bit cooked. Yeah, not a great trade. Okay, we'll see here. Okay.
I wanted to take this top, but I noticed that my backline was pretty far back, almost in the spawn.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's unfortunate. There's not too much you do about that. Okay, so now I want to talk about ultimates a lot more. Now, what level of play is this roughly?
This is around like mid masters, low masters right now.
Okay, cool.
I'm currently in a tournament called SBCS, and the ranks have kind of
right.
So
this Kitsune is one of the worst Kitsunes I've ever seen. Now, I'm not surprised because of the level of play, but the reason why it's bad, as you can tell, is that it connects into nobody. You can spin out of this just fine. This Baptiste is like 10 trillion light years away. Who cares? Right? If you're playing a Kiri comp, by the way, and you want advice on Kiri comps, like, make sure if you see Kiris at high level, they often TP and then they Kitsune an angle, which sounds very risky, but considering the Kitsune itself is a form of aggression that people want to kite away, they're able to TP and get away with it because no one's going to push a Kitsune to get a Kiri kill more often than not. But if you're in the situation and you're the service team, you can TP here, get your Genji on an angle, TP to your Genji, and then Kitsu this angle, and it's like really hard to kites. So whenever you're playing Kiri comps, keep that in mind. But how? Because like I don't know how to face this question because you get the Kiri ult out anyways. But like, if this was a good team and you're trying to force or you're trying to bait them to use Kiri ult, what are some ways or some things you can do to try and bait out that Kiri ult? What's your mindset around what you're trying to do? What can you do potentially?
I think potentially then I can have I can stand more aggressive on main, and then I can have my Genji Lucio pressure out the top right and
right. So
keep applying pressure on main.
Right, so I normally have a full step. I don't know how many steps this is actually, but I have a few steps in terms of how you bait. So step number 1, most obvious, put your backline far away. That's fairly obvious. Far away. That'll be their responsibility. Second thing, your front line, so you and your Genji, potentially your Lucio too. Your Lucio can go in between you and your back line. Your front line apply, and it's going to be purposely vague. They apply pressure. Now, pressure is extremely vague in this situation because what that might look like is it could look like a Genji plus Lucio push or force out recall, force out re on an angle. That is pressure onto their tracer. It could look like you're playing tracer and you hit a pulse bomb. Hit pulse, or you get a good clip onto their Kiri. That applies pressure. That will apply, again, that applies pressure to their Kiri to be like, oh shit, I need to Kitsune right now. It's any kind of pressure like that is really important. I often say it's usually some kind of frontline pressure. So this tracer pressure, for example, force out recall, that'll be an example of frontline pressure. In other cases, maybe you're playing into a hazard comp, that'll be forcing out hazard because you can front to back him very easily. In this situation, it could look like, again, you get a really good spear onto an angle, right? Or you get like a really good spear onto the Orisa, you force out a ton of CDs, maybe your Sojin gets a really good railgun onto the Orisa too, and you hard pressure out Orisa. That's fine. The Genji can also be shooting Orisa too, so that's another way you could do it. But some kind of pressure, right? And that will, again, force, in this case, Kiriol. It doesn't need to be Kiriol. It could be any ultimate, really. It could be High Noon, it could be Yossi, but in this case, it would be Kiriol. And then afterwards, you kites, and repush with your own ultimates. Really important to note, again, coaches like Capitology have said this in the past, but you can only kite once in this game. So if you kite their Kitsune, make sure you stand your grounds with, in this case, a window, it could be an OC, it could be a Terra Surge if you have it up in time. But yeah, we'll see how this pans out here. This Kiriol is going to get no value, but I'm going to be intrigued on the repush. Any questions?
And then on the kite, I guess, like, also, I guess, bang into my brain constantly, because that's what one of our other coaches is trying to do, is he's trying to also implement, like, make sure y'all are trying to also kite plan. Like, okay, so if your plan is to bait something out, make sure you know where you're going to kite to, so that you can all successfully regroup and then push forward again.
Right. That stuff is important. So like that's mainly on your Lucio. He'll like ping a location, or like if you're playing Kiri comp as well, he'll set a TP for your Kiri. So that's really on him to sort that out. Usually,
okay, gotcha. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Sometimes you can do it as well, but this is a very linear map, so it shouldn't, like, it's not necessary to do. Another example might be like King's or third point attack, where it's like it's pretty obvious where everyone's gonna kite to when you're attacking. Just go back to the main choke, like, not that deep.
Yeah.
But it's more important on open maps like New Queen Street, for sure. But yeah. Okay.
Alright.
That one was moved to the side, then that one's the split spin again.
Yeah, this one I felt like I even knew I fucked up on where I was trying to go, because I should have just went straight back, and I wouldn't have been in the
because you're literally going in the Kitsune itself.
at all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just like, again, that's just a mindset thing, you know, because you're not your mindset clearly right now is not towards kiting this Kitsune. They just pop it down for no reason, and it catches you by surprise, so you have no idea what to kite to. But if you're already thinking, like literally when you're pushing the bot between like the last 10 seconds, if you're already thinking about where you want to move to or kite back to, this spear spin's going to be more than reasonable. You're already going to know where you're going to move. So that's the mindset issue. Minus use 4 bar here, should be okay. Window's good, yeah, window's good. I like the V-push, nice. Yeah, nice window. Shalaxer, what should be the call now that you've got a pick? I say this to teams all the time, and they never do it.
Stabilize.
Yes.
Stabilize.
Right, so stabilize is one of the calls. I've had like some clarifications with teams in the past about this. But obviously, the way I draw this is normally a graph. So normally, say you're on a 5v4. There's a 5v4, or hell, you can push an advantage, right? Similar to that C thing we talked about earlier. You're on a 5v4, you've got some kind of an advantage that you want to push. Teams will either do one end of the spectrum. They'll either AFK and do fuck all, do nothing, or they will int and lose the 5v4, or get traded, is another way you can say it too. And in actuality, there is a happy medium between these two, which is, again, to stabilize, or what I like saying more now is to push slowly. Because the reality is, you have an advantage, right? You still want to be able to push that advantage. But the key is that you need to do it safely, in a safe and cautious manner that makes sure or ensures that your team don't get traded out, or it minimizes the chance of your team getting traded out. That's the important clarification. So, because when I've talked to teams about stabilizing in the past, they misconstrue it for standing still. Of course, don't always stand still, unless you need to, right, for safety reasons. Because of course, you've got an advantage, you want to push it, right? But just do it in a safe way. So stabilize is a good call. Again, I used to, on back on my uni team like a year ago, it kind of became a meme, because any single time that we saw a kill in a kill feed, everyone would shout stabilize. So everyone would just see like a 5v4 in the kill feed, and they would just shout stabilize no matter what. But frankly, that's better than saying nothing. So I'm glad that you are able to spot that, because hopefully, again, you can you're saying it right now in the game itself. But yeah, because of course the nice thing to do here would be just if you can't see the Kiri, so Kiri is really fairly far away. Sojourn is 10 trillion light years away. You can't push onto these characters, right? So just force up the Orisa.
It's right
so,
there, right?
Yeah, just force up the Orisa. That's all that needs to happen. Hopefully, I don't see trades in the kill feed. Lucky that's jabbing him there was fine. I don't mind that. This was okay. Again, I want it onto the Orisa, right? You can't. You're not gonna. You got 4 or 5, right? Well, okay, fair enough. You have in 5, so I can live that space spin a little bit. But yeah, of course, pushing the Orisa is more than reasonable. Okay, and this is exactly why you don't want to get traded out, right? And this is why pushing slowly is really important. And okay, deadass, we just walked into a boss one, okay.
No, I thought I got. Oh, never mind.
What did you get stuck?
No, I did get stuck.
Wait.
I did get stuck. Yeah,
because I've got.
I was gonna say, remember that.
Status messages off. That's why I just hate seeing. Like, if I skipped to like a thing, yeah, I hate seeing this. I don't know why. Like, escort the robot. I do not care. So it also turns off the pulse one too. So if Venice gets stuck there, so there's not too much you could have done about that. I'm not gonna say, oh, just hindsight, fight plan around pulse bomb. But yeah, they have these 2 ults to V-push. So I think the main mistake here really is that you just have no ultimates to V-push back. Right? You can't tear Surge to live. You can't beat to live this. So that's the main issue this fight really. But taking a 1 ult for losing this fight 1 ult for 3, like you're more than happy with that. So I think losing this fight is reasonable. Okay. Hopefully you guys don't throw any ultimates away though. Not too many ults away. Maybe it's still winnable, depending on your Surge. Again, just gonna get cooked. Yeah.
Amir is my fucking miracle worker. I love that guy. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's been getting picks the entire game. They've been getting picks the entire game, so yeah. Okay, let's see here. Big ult advantage. Holy shit, insane kill. Okay, OC maybe not, but good kill though. Also get Orisa. And heal, fine. 4-5, 4-5, 4-5. Like, why are we backing up here? Like, we have a Tracer kill. You are good HP. You've got more HP than their Orisa, more importantly, and you've got Fortify. Press shift and walk into this person, aim at their head, and dome them into the stratosphere. This is the kind of passive thing that I've been talking about. And again, they have no ultimates. They just use them, right? Like you can't get traded out here really. And you've got beat the match out OC, so you should be okay. But yeah. This is okay, right? But she's not looking at you anymore. Like you're fortifying nothing here. There's no aggro. There's no visual aggro. In other words, right? No one's looking at you, so this fortify is pointless. Now would have been great because you can block the boop and then walk into Orisa, right? Now when you're taking stuff and people are looking at you, that's when it becomes important. Again, people like Capitology have talked about visual aggro in the past. Oh, we're beating. Oh, we can't connect them to anything is the issue. And I think it's really a tempo issue, right? Because, I mean, there's a dominoes thing that's happening here as well, right? Because you couldn't push the Orisa hard enough, and because you just backed off a little bit, she gets away, and because of your bad fortify, she gets away. As a result, you lose your beats to keep pushing, but by the time that you lose your beats, they're just too far away. So it's a little bit of a dominoes thing from just not pushing your advantage heavily enough. And again, I really think that's just a mindset thing, right? And the mindset will inform your comms. Because if you're like, oh shit, I can hard int onto this Orisa because I've got CA advantage, I've got numbers advantage, I've got ult advantage, I can hard push this Orisa, then you're losing not gonna beat.
And to clarify something, I guess we've kind of been like I've been listening, right? But I guess it's been kind of danced around it for a second. I just want to clarify when we talk about this mindset, the mindset is advantage pushing. Okay, do I have an advantage here? I can keep walking this. If yes, if no, take a second. Yeah, I either need a slow push or I need to chill.
Right. When I say mindset, I'm referring to what like cognitively what you're thinking about.
Okay.
So like for example, back here, when I say your mindset, I'm saying okay, you should be thinking about your OC, so the triggers. Right. Normally I say this to clarify. I have 5 triggers that I normally tell players at the pen. HP, CDs, ultimates, positioning, and numbers. You currently have, I think, 3 or 4 of those right now. Yeah, you've got numbers, you have HP, you have CDs, and you've got a better position, I'd say, as well. They're backing off right now. And an ult. In fact, you have everything. So, like, Everything is telling you right now the hard push is Larissa. And if everything's telling you the hard push is Larissa, you can verbally say that to your team by saying, guys, that's hard push is Larissa. So that's what I mean by mindset. And the mindset also means that, what you're thinking about in between fights, like baiting their carry out, for example. And honestly, at your level of play, that should be very easy to do. I mean, you did nothing to force up that carry out, to be honest.
Right.
But yeah. Okay. Alright. So main is just there with just a little bit of slowness on triggers to push the Orisa, and then Fortify is like, no visual aggro there at all. Okay. I'm not sure if you remember, but did your Lucio say anything during the beat here too?
I don't remember that actually. I don't think they did.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. But yeah, you end up winning the fight, thankfully, but you don't need to use beat for that. Which is unfortunate now because you need to beat this, or beat this, beats. I'm gonna watch this fight here because I've got a beat advantage and I want to see how you play around it. Then we'll go to your house. But yeah. Okay. We'll see. I want to zoom out here a little bit actually. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so this is very scary. You're gonna lose this fight already. Your backline's really close to the backline right now, and if they drop it on top of your backline, you're cooked. So I'm a little bit concerned, not with what you're playing, because I think what you're playing is like fairly okay. I'm concerned with what your backline's playing, or how they're gonna move afterwards. And I'm actually concerned as well about where you're moving to after they push close. Was there a reason to like move away here? Or
no, not at all.
right?
Because I'm just gonna get split off.
And you're gonna they're either gonna ignore you, exactly right. They're gonna either ignore you and go into your backline, which if it's a smart, she'll do. And if they beat rush, your BAP's cooked. So yeah, again, at least you acknowledge that and you get the backline trade, which is good. Touch is nice, fine. Backline's okay. Okay, we're low-key chilling. Okay, nice. A backline can kite that. Okay, maybe not. Maybe. It started off well initially because you forced the beat with Terra Search, which is nice. But we'll see what goes on from your backline. It's barring the movement away. I think your Terra Search was more than reasonable. Sure. Bap just can't move. Yeah, your Bap just does not move off the high ground here. So again, that's your responsibility, right? To call that they've got beat and then calling, hey, let's bait this beat, and then of course, hopefully, next time your Baptiste can fall off the high ground here with your soldier. Look, I'll split you and your soldier as well. Like this is insane. So clearly, like you guys as a team aren't really thinking about kiting their beat rush, basically. Which is what you should be thinking about considering you already invested beats. But yeah, okay. Nothing too much on your end though. I think Tails was reasonable. But yeah, okay. There was one small thing though that I want to see. It's one tiny thing. Which is what you're looking at. Okay. Yeah. So,
yeah. Here, I think I could have maybe just tried to keep zoning in. I want to say their backline.
Right. Because I think doing this right now is like you've got no awareness of where their Solin's at, where their Kiri's at, who's tradable, who's not, right? How dangerous this Orisa is. I think right now it's okay to look at this Orisa because she was just destroying your Baptiste in the moment, right? She was like just destroying your Baptiste. So I think it's fine to look at the Orisa there to distract her or just spear her away. But of course, look behind you, look around you to see if this person is like tradable, if this person's tradable, if you can walk onto them, if this person isn't even worth your time, etc. But yeah, barring that, nothing crazy. Okay. I will see your has now on roots. Copy. Paste. Alrighty. Probably gonna be similar macro stuff as well about like again learning triggers. You're too passive, I'd say, on the whole. For not pushing your advantages that hard. But we'll see what happens here. Just go bookmarks. Starts. There we go. Okay. Alright.
Hold on. A quick question as well. Is it normal to feel like you're better at noticing or doing doing a better job of pushing those advantages on certain characters? Because again, like when I point to something like Ram, I feel like it's I guess for me much easier, maybe because I've put more time into the character, right? Because even before his big giga buffs, I've been playing him crazy for the past year and a half or whatnot, just because I like playing Ram. So
Yeah, no, I think like, but especially considering Ram was broken with the Vortex Major perk, and it might have felt less risky to push your advantages because you were basically invincible. That's probably why. But
Okay.
yeah, I think it's like I recommend watching. There was a very specific part of my recent, I say recent, it was like a year ago, but my Orisa guide that mentioned or looked at KSA and his fortify usage. And
Mhm.
it basically again it showed like he was literally pushing the Mei because she was really close to force out Blizzard, and then he'd Terra Surge afterwards, and he'd literally get the kill off of it. And it's very unorthodox using Fortify first. But if he's got an advantage that he can use, he will use it, or he'll push it.
Right.
And that's kind of, especially in like this level, or even tier 3 as well, like it's one of the biggest things that tanks don't see. It's how do I push, like it's missing opportunities to push your advantages, basically. And that fight there with the Orisa when she wasted both her cooldowns was like the perfect example of that, the textbook example of that. So yeah, you'll get with it over time, basically.
Okay, he's thinking about how he can create an advantage and actively trying to execute on
Right,
that. Is that what I'm?
basically, right, without again minimizing his risk because he's got Terra Surge in that example
Uh-huh.
too.
Right.
But yeah, okay, we'll see here. Okay, so again, main thing again, because especially considering they're running like a bait heavy comp, running Wu Yang and Diva, like this person's just gonna be spamming out shots from distance. Honestly, his character's built just to spam shots. It's basically like a more dynamic Eliari, is how you can think about it. And this person again can peel very easily. So things I'm looking at right now is when you're slashing, when you're not slashing, and why, and where you're playing to. So similar things as last time because you are running the engage comp. So we'll see here, and of course your pathing will be important too. To see if you can get onto the Baptiste or Surge. Okay. Sure. Okay.
Very weird because I felt like I did want to go on them, but I don't know if like the thing that was concerning me was their diva because I know she can peel, and depending on
Right.
if she has fly or not, I can if the slightest boot back I've noticed can potentially just fuck me over and I will die every single time.
Right. I'm sure you know that like boosters is a big trigger because of course Diva can't fly. If you're going to a target that that she's already used boosters on, she can't peel for that target
Right.
because there's no boosters. We can talk about again forcing out boosters quite early. Again, I actually was working with a team last night about it because there was a similar issue playing Winston into Diva, and it's the same thing as I said, based about baiting, like putting as much pressure as you can that forces Diva to make a choice. That can be point pressure, that can be pressure on backline, that can be pressure on flanks, that can be direct pressure to Diva, any kind of pressure. Then and then again, forcing Diva to like make a choice between 2 or 3 things. Do I touch point? Do I fly into the flank? Do I stay on my backline? Do I mark the Soju who's got Railgun and OC? Putting that Diva between a rock and a hard place is really important for forcing boosters. We'll see it. Okay. Okay, below chilling around the corner. We'll climb up, okay. Even no boosters. Fine, nice. Good spots. Nice. No issue there. Cool. Fine. Fine. Okay. And this is fine too. Like you can hard stalemate this. Like there's no like bad thing about this.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was just making me so uncomfortable because I felt like I was doing nothing, but I guess sometimes doing nothing is literally all you have to do.
Right.
Uh,
She is like hard baiting you to go for this slash because you can't really kill her because again the angle itself is very awkward and she can just slide out immediately, right? Like she's hard baiting you. If she was here, then that makes a lot more sense. You can wall her off, like literally wall off this retreat path and slash onto her. But she's hard baiting you, and this is like it's so important to understand this or to see this. Again, it was actually my hazard guide about not getting baited out like this. And the solution is literally do nothing, play slow, look at the Soch, shoot the Soch, play cards, save your HP. That's literally it. There's nothing more to it. It's not that complicated really. But yeah, don't get baited. And this is the baits. And now what's gonna happen? Ideally, I mean, okay, again, you just Thanos snap their Baptiste out of thin air. But barring that, what should happen here, ideally, is you get poked out between these 2 angles here, and you get hard punished. And then you lose space because you're down your block, you're down your wall, down your slash, down etc. So that should happen there if you do get baited to get a bad slash. Luckily, your Genji's the goats, apparently. It feels Baptiste, but still. Okay. I want to see Micro here. I don't think he needs to be blocking this. Like, The cart's like your friend, you know, like you can just use cart here, and then again not front to back D.Va and go around D.Va, right? And again make it our choice for her, right? If you're D.Va, right? Do I stay on my back?
Stick cart.
Do I stay cart? Do I stay in my backline? Do I fly and mark this Genji who just Thanos snap my Baptiste? Or do I go for the hazard, right? Like make that choice hard. So yeah. Okay. Alright, so again, you literally can just wall climb up to this angle right now, and then
easier shots on any backline.
Right, you can either slash into the Sojin and then slash into the Suyang. I'd probably say Sojin's better because closer, right? And then again, you keep your wall for your micro, right? You can wall yourself up, you can wall defensively, you can wall D.Va in. I don't really care how you use it, but you should.
They're down one already.
And
I should not be as scared. Like I should notice, right? You know, I should potentially take another angle and be like, all right, I want to go on. Their Sojourn. Okay, I'm seeing it.
And the main trigger for that is the Baptiste kill, really. Again, I don't know how it happens, but it happens, so that's the main trigger for, again, pushing your advantage there. Okay. Okay, you're chilling. Hopefully. Okay, you're chilling. Okay. Minute of the clock. Okay, Tracer now. Okay, again, your DPS is the goats, apparently. Sure. Just posturing. Sure. Okay, I wouldn't want to waste all my block there, but whatever. Okay. You're gonna just dice there, that's unfortunate. So again, now you've got two options, right? Do you look for a trade, or do you get out in time? I actually don't mind either one that you do, because I think with good enough micro, you can get a trade here. You can leap over, wall this like small little area here, and one-shot their Sojin. Or you can leap back into high ground and play your Sojin's angle. So I don't really mind which one you do here, but we'll see what ends up happening. Okay, go for trade, nice. No wall.
I don't wall though, yeah.
You need to be quick though, because of the Matrix. I think the Matrix is the key trigger here. Because again, I doubt she's going to flick around the Matrix you immediately. Especially again, rock and hard place, right? Do I Matrix the has wall, or do I Matrix this person, right? Who's been killing my team the entire match? Again, rock and hard place there. The wall here is really important. If you really want to be extra disciplined with your micro, you can again do wall right here and then use it to wall climb up and make that an escape route, and then get the high ground here. So again, always, I guess it's really important to do when you're playing to Honor too. So yeah, and you can always use wall for verticality. Yeah, the wall gets eaten by D.Va. Really unfortunate. You can force out Lambda at least, but yeah, you need to get a kill to make that winnable. Okay. Yeah, pump to the head outs. Sure. Leave. All's fine. Leap out. Good. Okay. Or probably out there on time. You're gonna do that again? Okay. Very unfortunate. Okay. I will say retaking this part of the map is really hard because your pathing is like, again, it's tough, right? I say the big thing with pathing here is make the D.Va think that you're here, and then you can drop down and then go through here and then try and get around the enemy team, or you can double back. Right? You can drop down and then pretend like shoot here, pretend like you're over here, and then double back and go top left. So try and make, again, I've seen it before with I literally is this in the video I posted like 2 hours ago, where Jumpman literally like flanked around their D.Va, and the D.Va had no idea where he was at. So let's see what you do here. Yeah, so this is just pathing, right? Because my main issue now is that you're gonna get stuffed like really heavily coming up this choke. Whereas again, you can make that again choice for the D.Va to be harder, right? Do I stuff the Has, or do I stuff the Soj? Do I stuff the Kiriko, right? Well, stuffing just means marking and just denying an angle.
Right.
But yeah. Okay, I would expect this to be a loss based on your staging, no pathing.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Like, you're zoning fairly well here, admittedly, right? I think it's fine to zone this. Come on, that. Fine. You don't need to drop that. You're fine. It's a good wall, right? You can play the wall. It's a decent wall, right? You can just, ring around the Rosie type shit, and then they'll shoot the D.Va,
Although I don't think here I know my goal was to definitely just try to zone off here, but I don't think I planned it out too well, because I'm noticing here I could have potentially caused the I could have went onto their backline and called for a rush where I was, because that'll like force them to like back off of Earls, and either the D.Va to keep on going, or peel for the back line. And my team
Yeah,
can just
yeah.
walk up for free there, I think.
I think the key thing I say about engages. In fact, I told this to a team I was helping out 2 weeks ago when they were trying to get setups, trying to okay, how can I set up a blade? How can I get my blade to connect onto their backline? Is again, it's a very similar thing with K rush here. They're trying to rush their backline. The key thing is if you do that, if your Kiri TPs to you and gets a good K rush, sure, it'll connect on backline, but this person hasn't been cleared out yet. So your Kiri's actually tradable, and your backline is still tradable here too. So if you're going to go for this K
Okay.
rush, I need this person to get forced out. And right now, you're actually doing a pretty good job of it, right? You're splitting off blackline. This person's ready to split off too. She needs, again, you're making her make a choice. Do I go for the Haz? Do I go for the Soj? Do I go for the Kiri? This so far is good. I actually like this a lot. But I want it to be slowed down a little bit, right? You're almost
Right.
jumping a step ahead. Because the step that you're missing, or the step that you're jumping, is forcing this person out, right? Get this person to fucking leave. I want this person to boost it back to our backline. And this wall is good for it, right? You're putting pressure on our backline, which can encourage their diva to fly to our backline, right? So the step is good. It's just that I want a little bit longer, I want a longer period of time to force out that diva. But yeah, we'll see.
And I think I want to say I do panic a bit here because that's why I think I dropped.
So like they window this. I think like again the key thing is that I just want more shots onto the diva here. I want this person to be like, I want as much pressure on this diva as possible. Now there is also one kind of glaring issue that we've kind of missed. Can we spot it?
I want to say our Genji isn't here, and they have all five.
Exactly.
We don't really have another angle. Like our
Yeah.
he's just coming back from spawn. He could potentially go on the right, but we just don't have him here yet,
Exactly.
and we're immediately down trying to take a fight.
Exactly, right? Like you're doing this in a 4v5, and trust me right now, if you imagine how much more effective this would be, and how much more likely this person would be to fly back to her backline if your Genji was like coming through here right now.
Pressuring.
Exactly, right? Like coming through here, maybe he could go through here, soft pressure their backline, right? Could do something like that. He could come through here, maybe dash onto these guys and deflect out, get some Kiri healing, right? He could do that as well. There's many different cycles. The point here being, right? There's many different cycles or options your Genji can do to apply pressure to this backline. But currently, he's not doing that. So this is just grossly mistimed, right? So again, this comes slightly back into the awareness thing about being aware of what the rest of your team's doing. And it's funny, right? Because when your team can push, you don't do it. And I think we saw that a lot with your Orisa, where your Genji and your Sojin was in prime position, and you didn't push their Orisa when she was down cooldowns. And right now, when you've got no real advantage here, really. Again, you're going for the retake, you're trying to zone off the backline, you're pushing while your Genji isn't in position. So the timing here looks very off to me. So for that reason, I really think that again you're gonna have to leap out while your Genji comes in, and it's gonna be desynced. But we'll see. Okay. That Kitsu is terrible. Okay. We try and go for backline. You guys need to play slow, man. You need to learn how to play slow. Like if I back off here, you do not need to fight this. You will lose, right? Your Kiri cannot safely TP to you and Kitsu on top of your body. Because there's a diva right here. And if he does that, your Sojin will die. So like, you can't like engage here right now. And that's fine. But play slow, chillax, right? Don't get baited. And right now you're getting baited, just as you were getting baited on the Sojin right now. You're getting baited by the Soj Baptiste on the window. You're trying to play too fast, right? And I don't see any reason to. Right, the cart isn't like, you've still got a little bit of time for cart to push over here, right? The backline's still relatively safe, right? Just play slow, right? And again, when we're linking back into the entire VOD in terms of the themes of this VOD so far, it's been triggers, right? There's no trigger to go for the backline here. This is way too dangerous. You're down your CDs, you haven't cleared diva, so they've got a clear positional advantage, CD advantage, ult advantage, HP advantage. There's no reason to engage here. So yeah, I think like, if I ask you, right, why do you slash onto backline? What causes you to go for the backline slash?
Right here, I had just thought maybe like I could potentially try to take a little bit of pressure off their back, but I guess it or off my backline, but I guess it doesn't really matter when there's a fucking diva in their face.
Right,
So
right, right,
I'm just gonna get shot by a windowed Sojourn and a Baptiste.
right. Yeah, thing is, even if you had like maybe if you had perks and a wall, like I can maybe see this working out, and maybe higher HP too. Like you can potentially punish the Baptiste with good micro. I could see that happening, right? Like there is valid micro here you could do with wall. You could wall your feet, go above the window, and then shoot the Baptiste, so you avoid the window entirely. That could be great micro, but you haven't got wall here, which is of course the big issue. So it's the triggers that I'm really seeing here, and the biggest thing that people don't understand when playing this comp is knowing when to play slow, knowing when to take a chill pill, and right now this is one of those cases. So how do you just like chillax? Like you can even leap by this rock. This is like you could even if you really need to, you can leap over here. You'll be fine. You could play by this rock here too. You'll be fine. And play really slow. Wait for window. Even get a Kitsu on cart if you need cart pressure. That's fine as well. This fight honestly has a very good chance to win this fight just by playing slow. But yeah, really unfortunate. Okay, so main things that fight there to summarize were pathing with where you're going, because I'm not a fan of this pathing, right? Like it's really hard to reach backline and it's very telegraphed too. Second thing, timing, right? Where's my Genji? Can my Genji actually go in? Can he get a good cycle? Can he get work done basically? And third thing, triggers to engage. Again, there's no triggers here to play fast. Or not even triggers to engage, right? Triggers to play fast is a way you could phrase it too. And right there's no triggers there at all. And so therefore, your call when you see window, what should you be calling when you see window here?
I want to just.
What can you say to your team?
I guess just chill here, wait for window.
Chill,
Like that's the
right?
first thing that comes to mind.
Right?
Yeah.
So chill, wait for window, or like play slow. Is another one that I'd make too, right? Because playing slow implies that, hey, guys, I do not want to peek this window right now. Let's not peek this window. Let's chillax. Let's not engage right now. That's kind of the most important thing I think to take away from that fight. Okay. Or blade. Okay, it's technically winnable because yeah, down CDs 4v4 close to you. Yeah, I think that blade's fine. Okay. Okay. Whoa! Flush. Fine there. I don't mind using Hasplex there. Sure. Just block. Okay, that beat is awful. That's so great.
Yeah.
Beat. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna cry about it too much. Okay. I mean, good news. Held on to the point. Bad news. They've got 2 ultimates.
They have ults.
And you have nothing. So so what your two? There's two. This is really interesting now, actually. How can you fight plan for this next fight? There's 2 things you can. 2 main things.
I want to say one of them is play, maybe like try to play a bit more aggro, try and force the OC out, which was what I wanted to do, but I didn't actively do it. I know I tried calling that, or I did, but I just stayed on top of Earls like an idiot and did nothing.
So one thing you guys can do is baits, right? So have you got the perk? That might change what you play. Okay, you do, nice. So you can play like, for example, maybe your Genji and hides over here. Maybe you hide over here potentially, or here's fine as well. You can leap away in time, so you should be okay. But here's fine as well if you want to be a bit safer. And your backline playing big Ults. And all your goal really is, the main goal is to try and force their OC in some kind of way, or force out Pulse Bomb, force out ult, right? And then once they pop that, OC, whatever the ult is, right? You leap away, dash away, right? And then you guys are fine, and you bait out on ultimates. That's fine to do here. The other thing you can do, even your Sojin can play here as well and try and get a railgun. That's fine as well. The other thing you can do is what I like calling chaos fighting, and what that really means is playing in such a way that is extremely unpredictable, and really fast. So, like for example,
I think I know an example. Okay.
So what you could do here is hide certain people in certain locations. So you could hide your Sojin in this cave. Like
I remember. I remember it was the last stage last year before Worlds, and I know there was a path where they hid Seeker behind there. In one of the other spawn rooms on what is it, on New Junk City. And then when they decided to walk up, it was, I think it was SG decided to, not SG, Toronto decided to walk up. That's when a Seeker came out and Noon got like 2 or 3, and then
Right,
were
right.
just able to clean up the fight.
And that's a perfect example. That's a great example. Another example that I remember from you won't remember this, but it was from Alcatia, like last like for stage 1, and they hit Haku with Valley in Suravasa in like a little cubby hole or something, and they just Valley engaged and they stunned like their backline and they blew them up. That's another example too, right? It leverages hiding, it leverages again sneaking around, it leverages good positioning, and it leverages timing. So a well-timed dive based. And because there's caves and little nooks and crannies, you can hide certain people, right? Hide here, hide again in this little room. You can maybe even hide someone in this like little behind this little rock thing, maybe that's fine as well. Hide again in this little thing. But just hide, and then again you can often be the one scouting because you're big and you're big and you can take damage, right? You can get pings off and just call for where they're playing, and then get a really quick engage on their Baptiste or on their Soch before they can even you can burst through the lamp very easily.
Okay.
That's something you can do there as well.
Gotcha. So that really does matter about the timing, because I was gonna, my next question, or I guess worry is, if they have ults, right? So because they have a huge ult advantage over us with the 2, right? So my one concern is like, okay, at that point, don't really be concerned if there's a random pick or some shit that goes off that's literally just about trying to cause as much chaos as possible.
Right.
We have to, like, in that chaos fighting, it's all about, like, I guess, don't worry about that. You have to try and trade out or something. Just make it to where their plan or whatever is completely incoherent to what they wanted to do.
Exactly, right? Like, the whole point of it is that it creates chaos. And that's kind of why you don't always do it, because it's high risk, high rewards. But if you take this fight normally, front to back, you're going to lose. So, like, that's where that idea comes in. But we'll see here. But I am afraid you might do that.
Yeah, no, look at this shit. Yeah, it's actually embarrassing, I think.
Yeah.
Because, like, I half engage onto it, and I don't commit or anything. I don't even try and stage. Like, what am I trying to do?
Yeah. And you just get hard forced out here. Your Genji's left already. You've got no trigger to really go into the Sojin anymore. It's over. To put it lightly. Even if you live this. Which you don't. Your Sojin get close. That's unfortunate. And you will die here too. And you're still alive. Somehow still alive. Jesus. Your team will die anyway.
Somehow.
Right? But, like, you will, again, the point being is that if you take that normally, you will lose. So yeah. Okay, we'll see next fight. Okay. Speed up here a little bit. Righty. Okay. Sure. Fine, I don't mind that. Like, Sojin's like kind of hard feeding right now, playing this narrow little area. I don't mind going for the slash. Of course, normally I'd say just force out D.Va, right? But like in this situation, your Genji's here, Sojin's playing in a dumbass position. I don't really mind that. Sure. Nice. Wait, do you break the wall? Hang on.
Yeah, I do.
Really quickly. Interesting. I would just walk over it. I would just like climb over this thing, use it as cover, like use this little rock thing as cover too. I think either way it's fine. Again, I really like hazards that use their wall for verticality. And then frankly, when you're playing into like harder CC comps or comps that can burst you really quickly, like Fan the Hammer or Sleep Dart or Brig as well. Brig's kind of trash right now. But like Ana cast comps is like a really important to use it for verticality. And Hanzo too. Oh yeah. Okay. Sure. If I can just die entirely, your Sojin dies on the retreat and your Genji dies too. I wanted to timing here. Because I have a fear that your Genji might be out. Zoom out here. Oh, he's fine. Timing is fine. Timing is fine. I don't know how he just dies immediately. Oh. You asked on him. I asked on him. Okay, fine.
He overheated a little bit.
Yeah. Like, he could have just passed to the right side, or just, like, stood with you, but, yeah, that's way too greedy. Okay. Sure? I think you can hold your space over there for a little bit. That's fine. Okay. Somehow Lucy gets out, fine. Okay. Sure. Go through, nice. Fine, right? You've got triggers to do so. You're close, you're fairly close. They Genji with you. You've got Kitsune, so you're even faster. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Nice. Verticality! Wall yourself up. Wall yourself up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm even looking at that and I'm like, just fucking wall it.
Like, you avoid the window and you get cover. Ooh, that's scary. Don't tell me you guys get traded out here too. Oh. Okay, I need to see some top down. I need to see some top down. Because, like, again, like, when you've got a 5v3 right now, and you're all very tradable. So, like, it's really important that, again, you call for stabilizers, and you force out their front line. Okay, again, you got Micro there with your wall. The Soch just like high grounds. If he does good. Yeah, you just don't clear out D.Va in time. Like, if you play that Micro well, you force out D.Va, this person lives, you're more likely to win the fight, etc. So there's a bit slight dominoes there from you leaving the D.Va. Or being forced to leave D.Va. Okay. We're chilling now, thankfully. Okay. Force out D.Va, nice. Fine. Force out bomb. Wall for sure. Okay. Fine, he's playing close. Sure. Fine. Yeah, teams get traded mid-fight. There's not much I can really say. I think your end was fine. Like, you forced out D.Va fairly well. You forced bomb. You can do that to bomb sadly. And you're switching that. The only big mistake there was really the wall. But yeah. Okay. And again, pathing wise, I prefer your Genji coming like from a different angle, like underneath here, just so he doesn't like stack on the window. But barring that, from your perspective, nothing crazy. Okay. Do you get a retouch here? Hopefully you can. Do you have ultimates? Okay. Barely. Sure. Fine. Flex okay. Fine. Fine. Stay caught, obviously. It's not like the wall. You can just you won't take that much aggro. You can just stay caught and use it as cover. Fine. Slash from caught. Fine. Okay. Fine. Sure. Sure. Wall's decent.
Weird about cart. Like I don't.
Yeah, just start sort of cart. You need to.
Right, because I know. Furry was like saying you need to stop looking at the D.Va, but we were so close to point that I was like, I don't know.
Right. There's not much else you can do. You can't lead the point to go onto the backline if no one's juggling it with you. So like, I'm not gonna blame you too much for that one. And the Genji have Blade too, so he wants to go on backline, so he can't still juggle cart with you. Normally, again, I often say that like again, it's normally your flex DPS that will stay cart, not you. But considering your Genji have Blade, I think it's more than reasonable to stand cart, so you don't see 9 hits. Nothing crazy. Okay, we'll see through the start point, and do quick summary at the end. Okay. We're going on now, interesting. Okay. Sure. Okay. 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 Sure. Fine. My only issue here is that you could have been top right from the get-go. Like literally on this frame right now, you could have slashed onto this angle and just shoot the tracer. The gun's pretty good. Like, you can shoot the tracer from this angle here. It's a bit unfortunate that you have to slash all the way into BAP, Sojourn, and OS. So you get chunked really heavily. In that kind of way, their tracer kind of baits you. In fact, if anything, I was expecting him to slash onto the Sojourn here. Because you can zone this off quite easily. No one's going to punish you here for it, right? D.Va's far away, she's getting mech right now. Yang does fuck all damage to you, let's be realistic. And Tracer's going to do something to you here as well. So either, again, force up Tracer early by going bus, or soft engage the backline here and force him off high grounds. Either one's fine. Okay. So it's just too late. Okay. Okay. And you can see what they're doing here. They're trying to force you out, or put as much pressure on you as possible, so that you can't slash and zone out the Sojourn OC. So again, it's just, I guess my question really becomes, why not force up Tracer early on?
Right here, I had already pretty much knew, like, I felt like I had already taken the worst position, so, like, I was just scared of getting chunked out, like, and I guess it didn't,
right.
I don't know,
I don't see, like, the scare here, I mean, at least for me, right, because if you slash over here, you're fine, you know, like, you can just play cover, you got mega rather, and you can shoot tracers, so, yeah, a little bit of, I guess, slowness there to force out Tracer. Okay, we'll see this OC though. Because in a way, there still is putting pressure on front line. You're still forcing up their Tracer recall. You're still forcing D.Va to fly to you, right? And that pressure means that they're more likely to pop OC or window. So this is still good in of itself, as long as it can live. Which is the key qualification. Okay. Okay. I'm not a massive fan of that wall, by the way, because you are warding nothing there. Okay. Sure. Okay. Nice slash. Really important slash. Really important. Nice. Get that up tees. Nice. Nice. Hashtag Wu Yang. Unfortunate. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I don't mind that. Like, if Wu Yang is too far away and your Genji's already got the kill, slashing back here is fine. Okay. Nice. Fine. Fine.
Sure. I thought I could try to wall her.
That's fine, yeah. Nice. Okay. Not bad that. Alright. Yeah, I assume you guys are probably gonna win this last fight because ultimates, most likely. Unless something tragically goes wrong.
Yeah, we do end up winning it.
Yeah, it's none of it. Yeah, you're fine here. Okay, we'll do a quick summary. We'll use this wall here. I think by far the biggest thing is, again, triggers to play faster, or rather a lack of triggers to play slower. And I think the two key examples that we saw here was that Orisa no CDs fight.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like playing faster. And then an opposite example would be that window one. The window first point root defense roots, where that was like play a bit slower. And again, your communication, your comms will be either push onto X target or play slowly. Either one is appropriate, respective again what tempo you want to be playing. I think that's by far the biggest thing in terms of, again, your ability to read the game, and not just read the game, but communicate that and sell and make sure that you are on the same page with your team too, right? It's all well and dandy you being able to identify this, but it's also really important that your team know that too. Which is why this communication part is going to be really important. But that's by far the biggest point. Second thing I'd say is, I mean, it has to. I'll mention like individual micro, because to be honest, at this level of play, like if you can just slash and get a kill every fight, or if you can like live every fight and make sure you don't die, that's going to be really important too. So that comes down into Javelin in terms of like not making sure, if you're trying to engage and play faster, make sure you're not accidentally helping them. And your wall is really important too, of course. So micro here is like not getting it eaten plus verticality to avoid window. It also makes the shots easier to land. You wall yourself up vertically, you're obviously above them, so it's easy to hit your shots. But yeah, as a window / CC. And then other abilities. Oh yeah, like not getting baited by Surge. Again, links back into the first point about playing slowly or playing more slow. If you know you're getting baited, because again they want you to slash, so you're out of position, and then they can just punish you. So yeah. Third thing. Let me think. I mean that last point on Surge could be its own third point, to be honest. I think I'll see baiting ults. Baiting ults. So again, for you on your ends, that's like applying pressure. You could do it with ultimates too, by the way. So again, that either looks like forcing points, using an ult first. And the reason why I say using an ult first, the whole point of this ultimates is to get them to use an ultimate to begin with. So again, you can maybe use OC first, and that forces them to get a beat rush or to do a beat rush, and then you kite back, and then you re-push a Terror Surge. That's a very easy way of baiting an ultimate. And then what else here too? Yeah, winning a duel, or just using high damage if you're running a high damage comp. High damage to force out their front line. Different ways of how you can apply pressure to the enemy team, such that it again makes them pop an ultimate early, and then you can kite back afterwards. But yeah, any questions that are on your minds, or any clarification?
There was There was one that I know I had. Okay. I'm starting to remember it. So when it comes to things like I guess knowing when to play slower, that's probably also or faster off of those triggers and everything. Some of those are those definitely like off the fly things, like say because on the window on first point, I believe we had like tracked it, but I don't think we ended up having like a plan around the window of like, okay, what we're going to do when they window. Is that something you kind of have to have like pre-planned?
Yeah. So like, I mean, it's not the pre-plan comes like you're not slashing in to specifically force a window. You're slashing in to apply pressure so that you force like an OC or a window or a Diva Bomb,
Just
right?
something.
Just something, right? Like the plan is like we're gonna play slow eventually. That's the mindset everyone needs to be in. Again, the ultimate doesn't need to be like it doesn't have to be a specific ults. It often will be window. It often will be OC, but it doesn't need to be. Could be pulse bomb, you know, or it could be bomb from their Diva. Just anything that allows your team to walk. It could be wheeling ult for all I know. But yeah, it doesn't need to be like a. It is good to again be able to like be on your I guess like how do I say it, on your minds that you need to bait an ultimate, right? Because if it's not, then your team aren't gonna know. Oh shit, we need to be kiting back. Oh shit, like they windowed. What do we do? You know, like that shouldn't really be happening. Of course, in like really messy fights, like 5 volts versus 5 volts, that's normal. But yeah, with window, like in that case, like you gotta need to play slow. So yeah.
And last thing I guess is so just noticing when to, okay, so here we need a bait and ult. That's not necessarily on me to always like I guess like call the plan, because I notice sometimes I will try and formulate something, but there's times where I genuinely like, okay, I know we need to bait something, we need to try and bait OC, but like sometimes I genuinely will be like, okay, I like due to my positioning or whatnot, I don't know necessarily how. Is that something that just comes with time, of course, when playing with the
Sometimes,
team?
yeah, like it will come with like again these methods here are like sometimes some will be harder to apply than others at certain moments of time, and sometimes too you might not be able to bait ultimates, right? So baiting ultimates is not very useful when the ult deficit is so huge. So like if there's like 4 ults and you've got 0, like sure you can bait a carry ult, but it's still gonna lose the fight. So you might as well do a chaos fight, for example. So there'll be certain instances or examples where you yourself might find it hard to bait an ultimate. That's why it's team related, right? Maybe your Genji can like pop blade first and then force beat and then kite back, right? Or that could be a social with OC. Or your Genji can like get in like a really nice like hiding spot to get a chaos fight. Or maybe again it'll be other examples again, like maybe again you're playing into like a Genji tracer comp or something, and then you've got a tracer in your team, and then you can just like hard force up that tracer, right? Something like that maybe. Maybe a tracer has pulse and then wants to hard pressure their backline, something like that. But yeah, it'll come with time for sure. It'll come with time. There's almost always a way of applying pressure in such a way that can force them to use an ultimate. But yeah. Any other questions or stuff you want to cover?
I think that's actually it. And this is probably one of the first times I've actually like really had a question or a couple to, I guess really ask a coach. So, yeah, I guess I don't know. Thank you.
No worries. If you do think of any other questions that come up to your mind, feel free to DM me, and I'll try and get back to you on those. And I've also recorded the session too, so you can rewatch it back at your spare time. I'll link that to you when it's finished uploading in a few days.